Brandon Swanson was a 19-year-old college student living in Minnesota, described by family and friends as responsible, social, and close to his parents. On the night of May 13, 2008, Brandon attended a small gathering in the town of Lind, Minnesota, and left shortly after midnight to drive back to his parents' home in Marshall. He never arrived. Sometime after leaving, Brandon drove his Chevrolet Lumina into a ditch on a rural gravel road. The vehicle was not severely damaged, and Brandon later told his parents he was not injured, but the car was stuck and could not be driven out. At approximately 1:15 a.m., Brandon called his parents to explain what had happened. He believed he was near Lind and told them he could see lights in the distance, assuming they belonged to the town. His parents immediately got into their car to find him and stayed on the phone with him while driving through the area. Throughout the call, Brandon sounded calm, coherent, and not intoxicated. He was able to hold a normal conversation, joke lightly at times, and clearly describe what he thought he was seeing around him. Despite his parents repeatedly telling him to stay with the car, Brandon chose to leave it and walk toward the lights he believed were Lind. During the call, he mentioned climbing over fences and walking through fields, indicating he had left the roadway and was moving across farmland. The call lasted approximately 47 minutes, during which his parents drove around trying to locate him. At one point, they believed they were close and asked him to turn on his car lights, but Brandon said he could not see them, suggesting they were not actually near each other. Near the end of the phone call, Brandon abruptly exclaimed, "Oh shit." Immediately after that statement, the call disconnected. His parents attempted to call him back repeatedly, but the phone went straight to voicemail. Brandon was never heard from again. There were no further calls, texts, or pings from his phone after that moment. The following morning, law enforcement located Brandon's vehicle, but it was not near Lind. Instead, it was found near Taunton, Minnesota, approximately 25 miles away from where Brandon believed he was. The car showed no signs of a violent crash, no blood, no evidence of a struggle, and no indication that anyone else had been present. Brandon's personal belongings were not inside the vehicle. An extensive search began almost immediately and continued for weeks. Law enforcement, volunteers, search and rescue teams, tracking dogs, and aerial units combed the surrounding area. Fields, ditches, culverts, waterways, and wooded areas were searched repeatedly. Despite the scale of the effort, no trace of Brandon was ever found. No clothing, phone, wallet, or remains were recovered. Investigators confirmed that Brandon's phone stopped transmitting shortly after the call ended. The device itself has never been located. There is no confirmed evidence that Brandon encountered another person, no indication of foul play, and no physical evidence explaining what happened after his final words. Because no remains were found, no official cause or manner of death could be determined, and the case remains classified as a missing person investigation. Over the years, Brandon's family has continued to advocate for renewed searches and public awareness. They have emphasized that Brandon was talking normally, was not panicked, and did not express fear before the call ended. The area where he disappeared includes drainage ditches, uneven terrain, and waterways, but multiple searches of those areas have not produced evidence. As of today, Brandon Swanson has never been found, and what happened to him after saying, "Oh shit," remains unknown. Asha Degree was a 9-year-old girl living in Shelby, North Carolina, described by her family as shy, well-behaved, and deeply attached to her parents and older brother. She lived in a small home just off Highway 18 and had never run away or shown signs of wanting to leave home on her own. On the night of February 13th, 2000, Asha went to bed after a normal Sunday evening with her family. That night, a severe storm moved through the area, bringing heavy rain, strong winds, and cold temperatures. At some point between 2:30 and 3 a.m. on February 14th, Asha quietly got out of bed. She put on her clothes, packed a small backpack, and left her house without waking anyone. Her parents did not realize she was gone until later that morning when they went to wake her for school. Her bed appeared slept in, but Asha was nowhere in the house. Panic set in almost immediately, and law enforcement was contacted. Multiple motorists later came forward, stating they had seen a young girl walking alone along Highway 18 during the early morning hours. The sightings occurred around 4 a.m., while it was still dark and raining. One driver said he turned his car around to check on her, but she ran off the road and into the woods. This detail alarmed investigators, as it suggested Asha was intentionally avoiding strangers, despite being alone. Search teams were dispatched and combed the area extensively. They found candy wrappers, a pencil, and a hair bow believed to belong to Asha near the highway. Despite these findings, Asha herself was not located. There were no signs of blood, no torn clothing, and no clear indication of what direction she went after leaving the road. Nearly a year later, in August 2001, construction workers made a disturbing discovery. A backpack was found buried near a construction site, approximately 26 miles north of Asha's home. The backpack was confirmed to belong to Asha and contained personal items, some of which did not belong to her. The fact that the backpack was buried suggested deliberate human involvement. However, no fingerprints, DNA, or conclusive evidence led to a suspect. Asha herself was still missing. Over the years, investigators have confirmed there is no evidence Asha left home because of abuse or family conflict. Her parents were ruled out early and have continued cooperating with authorities. Law enforcement has stated they believe Asha met with foul play after leaving her home. Numerous tips have been investigated, including reports of a green car seen near the area. None have resulted in an arrest or recovery. No confirmed sightings of Asha have occurred since the morning she disappeared. As of today, Asha Degree has never been found. No remains have been recovered, and no suspect has been charged. Her disappearance remains one of the most disturbing and unexplained missing person cases in U.S. history. Maura Murray was a 21-year-old nursing student attending the University of Massachusetts Amherst, described by those close to her as intelligent, disciplined, and deeply private. She had a history of pushing herself hard academically and athletically, and she struggled quietly when things began to feel out of control. In early February 2004, Maura's life appeared increasingly unstable, though no one around her understood how serious it was at the time. On February 5, 2004, Maura was involved in a minor car accident after rear-ending another vehicle near her campus. She was visibly upset at the scene but not injured, and police allowed her to leave after filing a report. 2 days later, on February 7th, she used her father's car and crashed it into a guardrail while driving late at night. Although no one was hurt, this second accident appeared to shake her deeply. In the days that followed, Maura searched online for driving directions, hotels, and vacation rentals in northern New Hampshire and Vermont. She emailed her professors, stating there had been a death in the family and that she would be gone for a week, though no such death had occurred. On February 9th, 2004, Maura packed several personal belongings, withdrew nearly all the cash from her bank account, and left her dorm room. She did not tell friends or family where she was going. That afternoon, she drove north toward New Hampshire in her black Saturn sedan. At approximately 7:27 p.m., Maura crashed her car on Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire, near the home of a local resident. The road was dark, cold, and winding, with snow lining the sides. Witnesses later reported seeing Maura standing outside her car, appearing shaken but conscious. A local bus driver stopped and asked if she needed help. Maura declined and told him she had already called roadside assistance, which was later determined to be untrue. The bus driver continued on and contacted police anyway. When officers arrived roughly 10 minutes later, Maura was gone. Her car was locked, her belongings were inside, and there were no visible footprints leading away from the scene despite the snow. The area was searched immediately, but Maura was not located. In the days that followed, extensive searches were conducted by law enforcement, volunteers, and search and rescue teams. Dogs tracked Maura's scent briefly down the road before losing it. No confirmed evidence showed which direction she went or how she left the area. Investigators found no signs of a violent struggle at the crash site. There was no blood, no torn clothing, and no indication that another vehicle was involved. Despite this, Maura herself was completely gone. Over the years, numerous tips, theories, and searches have been pursued. Some believe Maura may have left the area on foot and succumbed to the elements, while others suspect she entered another vehicle. No theory has ever been proven. Maura's family has remained active in the search for answers, advocating for continued investigation and awareness. Her disappearance has been examined by local police, state authorities, private investigators, and journalists. Despite this attention, no physical evidence explaining what happened after the crash has ever surfaced. As of today, Maura Murray has never been found. No remains have been recovered, and no suspect has been charged. She vanished within minutes of being seen, leaving behind a car, a timeline, and a mystery that remains unresolved.